So we're post-Easter break. It's lovely and sunny, and I'm actually sitting in Rotterdam today. I'm going to the True event tomorrow, and I'm actually sitting with one of the track leaders tomorrow, Ton Rodenburg. I've known Ton now, it must be nearly 6-7 years, from my days coming over as a naive idiot thinking I could invade Holland with a job board from the United Kingdom called Total Jobs, and Tom made me and put me right and said, Keith, we're a different market. We may all speak English, but not all of us actually necessarily believe everything you English bring us. Ton speaks great English, but I'm going to be upfront and say Ton is also a very proud Dutchman. And I'm going to be talking to Ton for a couple of minutes because Ton has a passion for one of my favourite topics, this whole topic of the employment brand. And Ton has, I think, some really great insights into what it is and isn't. And some of those insights have actually helped shape my opinion in recent months, reading some of Tom's writings. So first of all, quick introduction. Ton, please introduce yourself, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, Keith, I'm in my daily job, I'm a strategy director at ARA, and we try to be every day one of the best branding agencies of the Netherlands. And my special dedication is towards the HR marketing piece, the employer branding and internal branding. So really about recruiting, engaging and retaining the best talent.
Now I also know you have a couple of other roles, one of which I think has got to do with some old friends of mine, Recruiters United.
Yeah, right. So
that's the evening job.
Yeah, that's my evening job. Well, since I feel like an evangelist sometimes, and I sort of feel this passion because we have such a inspiring profession in this marketing, HR, organizational thing. I feel inspired to share it and to create discussions, and became chairman of Recruiters United, which is the 500 professionals in the labor market joining in these kind of discussions.
Okay.
Yeah.
My very simple question, Ton, what do you believe this thing employee branding is all about?
Well, I try to make things simple, which is my challenge in life, making things simple. So I have really a very simple definition also. It's like employer branding is relations with talent, point. And so it has all to do with organizations trying to build durable relations with talent. And of course, the most important talent they have a relation with is the people inside every day. And so employer branding always starts from the inside. And winning inside is winning outside, these kind of things. And you have engagement is getting people come back to you as a client of your working environment, and buying the company every day. And the best clients, of course, are enthusiastic clients. These are people that really like the working experience, and they feel inspired, and they get meaning by the company. And that's how you build great brands from inside out.
You just drew a very interesting little graph, and I'm going to now ask you to kind of orally explain what your pyramid had on it.
I had an interesting thing, starting with employer branding 11 years ago, and I always came with that hat. I'm from the employer branding, and started in the discussion with the corporate branding guys, with the marketing guys, and they all had different views on what was the brand, and they all had their own sets of values and things like that. So I tried to give employer branding a place in a sort of holistic branding model. I just found out, and I find still very worthwhile because it's simple and communicates something. Shall I draw it?
Yeah, go on.
It's an easy thing. Well, it's like, it's the pyramid of ARA, of the pyramid of Ton, and it's really very simple. It says whether you are talking to stakeholders, whether you're talking to business or customers, whether you're talking to labor market, or whether you're talking to your own employees, all communication should derive from the soul, identity, DNA of the company. here in the top of the pyramid. And so this is what we call brand identity, but to me often, talking in different language in the HR marketing field, to me often brand is culture, or culture is brand. And that's to make a connection between HR and marketing in this field. So this is the original employer branding. This we could call internal branding. This is product branding or service branding. And this is maybe corporate branding, communicating to stakeholders. And this model shows a sort of holistic approach, and it says a few things. The most important thing to me is the third dimension of your own employees. If they feel the meaning of the company, if they really know what the company stands for, where it goes to, then they are the most important communicators in all different markets. So engaging your people and getting them involved in the brand and knowing where it heads for, where it stands for, that's what gives the new communication power in all different target groups, to customers, to stakeholders, whatever. So the third dimension of employees is really important. And the other thing I found out, and that's really, for me, it's an eye-opener, it's important in building brands, is where I came with the message of employer branding, often talking to the product branders. I always started asking people, of course, what they thought about the company and what they were proud of, and where the energy, where they got energy from, where they were passionate about. And when investigating a brand, I always look at when the eyes are sparkling, so when the passion and the energy starts to flow. And often these kind of values behind these kind of behaviors are totally different from the values the marketing guys find. They tend to listen some more to what customers think, and then you get values as open, teamwork, client-centric, and that's really integrity, things like that, respect. Of course, very important, but these are like the side values. They define the sides of the business, but they are not inspiring and energizing the people. And so I found out that the real values that let the company thrive, are the values that people got really passionate about, like the personal working values, the energetic values, as I call them, or passion values. They can really define the identity of the company. And my saying is, the passion of the people is the promise to the market. And that's like almost other way around. That's almost getting the employer brand on top of the branding pyramid. And that's the power of engaged companies, I guess.
Ton, thank you. Now, tomorrow, Ton's going to be at True, and I'm going to do a little follow-up interview and talk about a couple of clients that Tom's got and some of the work that they've been doing, which I think is really interesting. So for today, we're going to call it a wrap, as we say, and in a moment I'll do a nice 10-minute workshop, how to do employee branding out of a box. But actually, before we go, Tom, what's the ARA site? Because you've got a cracking site, you've got some great case studies. So for anybody that's got a business in Holland that's looking at this from around the world, give a plug for the ARA site.
A plug for the ARA site?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the ARA site can be much better, but well, you see some of the cases, and I like them best, where we get a sort of holistic approach to brands, where internal branding, employer branding, and business branding starts to, or at least communicates from the same heart.
Right, and it's found at www.ara.nl. ara.nl.
Yeah.
Take a look, because there's some cracking work there. But tomorrow I'm going to follow up with a specific conversation around some work that Tom did a few years ago for the Dutch Fire Service, which is a great case study. So more of that tomorrow, but thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you.